Cocoa versus the biological clock. In true context, we're looking at theobromine. Now, this study was quite interesting because this looked at thousands of twins. And the one factor they found that was unique in regard to a slower biological aging was theobromine levels, particularly from dark chocolate rich in cocoa. And what's quite interesting about this is that 1.5 years may not appear like a lot over a long time span. But however, we're looking at a mere decade. So after 10 years, the people with the highest theobromine levels were 1.5 years younger compared to those that did not have those high theobromine levels. So without further ado, the title of the study is actually Theobromine from Cocoa Linked to Slower Biological Aging. So look at the chart right there. It gives you an idea, 1.5 years, cocoa, and you want to look at the dark chocolate most preferably. That is the highest cocoa levels, henceforth the highest theobromine levels. And so you look at about 1 ounce of dark chocolate contains about 250 milligrams of theobromine, which ideally 500 milligrams is your target number. Now look at the second chart. Now check this out. Gives you a little bit of a breakdown roughly in regard to the scientific validity of the study, and it's quite robust. And also too, on top of that, independent of caffeine. So caffeine didn't have the same effect, obviously, as theobromine. They wanted to make certain, so they basically wanted to eliminate that as a potential confounder. Smokers, ironically, had the highest benefit from the consumption of theobromine. But look at this. I don't want to say age reversal. Let's just say slower aging. Look at that chart. Now keep in mind, it's only a 10-year period, 1.5 year younger looking cells. So that 10-year window is quite amazing. You see that basically the action plan, 500 milligrams was about the ideal levels of theobromine. As we bring the chart before, look at it. Dark chocolate, 85%. 250 milligrams of theobromine per 1 ounce, so 2 ounces. And there's your layman term and glossary. So let's look at the study real fast, and then we'll go into the scientific breakdown of the study itself, which is a little more detailed, a little more technical, and a little bit, I should say, robust. So to begin, theobromine from cocoa linked to slower biological aging. In this work, researchers analyzed data from 2 large European studies in 509 women from the TwinsUK cohort. They found higher blood levels of theobromine, which were associated with slower aging. Again, this is an observational study, so you can't show a causal relationship, but you can show a strong correlation. They found that higher levels of theobromine were associated with slower aging, especially based on the GrimAge, an epigenetic clock that predicts the risk of age-related disease and early death. The results were confirmed in 1,160 men and women from the German CORA study. Quote, "We initially tested for the association between 6 metabolites found in coffee and cocoa, and epigenetic measures of aging in blood samples from 509 healthy females from the TwinsUK cohort study. Importantly, theobromine's effects were independent of related compounds such as caffeine, to reiterate. Even after adjusting for these other substances and different lifestyle factors, the association with slower aging remained strong. The study also associated higher theobromine levels with longer telomeres, however you want to pronounce it, another marker of healthy aging. Now, you know I love redundancy because it tends to confirm reports or findings over and over again, or strengthen the findings, I should say. So here's our studies back from even when I began doing theobromine really hit the radar back in 2014, so 11, 12 years ago. But that's a few of the videos we just covered alone over the past decade. Ironically, almost the length of the study itself. All right, let's get into the study breakdown as follows. Also, too, cocoa versus the clock. A little bit more detail. Translation, as you look there as far as aging acceleration versus theobromine. Please forgive the speed at which I speak. We have a lot of territory to cover. The theobromine in your blood, younger biological looks compared to your actual birthday. The GrimAge clock, the breakdown there. And as far as the executive summary, as far as citation for those who look for that. All right, the epigenetic factors. Here's the telomeres, however you want to pronounce it. That, the DNA MTL, the methylation-based telomere length, was really the best observation in regard to the study as postulating to the possible reasons why theobromine had such a profound effect. So basically, keeping those telomeres longer may have yielded the 1.5-year younger looking cells. All right, confoundings, they checked as well too. Now also, a little tough to see, but look at the comparing the methyloxanthines as far as that. Look at the chart with the kind of like triangles in it. See the triangle there, DNA repair and vasodilation. Compare it to the other polygon in regard to caffeine per se. That's quite an interesting finding in regard to theobromine. It literally is kind of like the best of all worlds. Dose-dependent relationship, mechanism, hypothesis, as you can see right there as well, and clinical notes. The takeaway, we're just going to reiterate, as far as what to look for as those shopping for it. Look at the cocoa powder there as compared to dark chocolate and darker chocolate. And the protocol, this is basically your sample size, your study profile. You could pause if like. And 2, the quality and critical analysis of the study. Again, really good power rating for those interested in that. The weakness obviously being an observational study, and you'd like to see an RCT over a long period of time as well, randomized controlled trial for those not familiar. But again, what an incredible discovery. It is a discovery, but again, it's a confirmation over and over again of the strength of cocoa and potentially the benefits of the theobromine from that cocoa itself. Again, we need to see some independent studies on theobromine directly, preferably an RCT to basically confirm those findings. But right now, the correlations are really astoundingly strong. Again, gratitude to the researchers for doing this. Phenomenal finding. I am once again always humbled you watch and look forward to what you and I discover next week. I think I'm going to grab some dark chocolate right now. All right, catch you all next time. See you then. Bye.